Hello, this is Krista here again today. Happy Halloween, everybody. I've got my scarf on today, looking and feeling spiffy on the 31st of October. And it's raining here. And looks like we might be getting some snow soon, which is going to be our first snowfall of the year, or of the season, so that will be interesting. Of course, it's November already, and that's what usually happens in northern Indiana. Today, I kind of wanted to shoot just a random video about things and processes that I have been learning about, and things that I have been going through. And of course, I talk a lot about, guess what? Narcissism and addiction. I'm proud to talk about these things, although it can be a fight sometimes. I know that I'm in about the 4th stage of recovery. I know in my domestic narcissistic abuse recovery, plus addiction, well, probably plus the addiction recovery, where you find a balance. You find a balance in controlling, being able to finally control your addictions more. You become stronger in controlling your addictions a little bit at a time. Every day is a journey, and you pick up new things to do and new friends to join, and sort of the old starts getting dislodged. Some things that can happen inside of the drug world or drug scene, plus the domestic abuse, can just leave you in such sad states, devastational states, where when we do begin to lose people inside of these situations, maybe people that you loved dearly, you know, it all really depends on the person, whether or not you want to continue to be friends with these people, or if you just need to create strong boundaries with these people, and even get to the point where you can use these boundaries in situations like I know I had to use them with my daughter the other day, that still has some problems using you know, being in the world that she lives in, where of course we just had a death in the family, whereas my brother died. It was really easy for a lot of us to fall back in for just a blink of an eye, and to again being able to gain my own equilibrium, as some of my brother's friends would come to me after that and comfort me. Although I was grateful for that, not to fall into using with these people when they would say, hey, let's go talk and grab a beer, because that was their lifestyle, and it wasn't just one beer. It was many more than just one beer, or, you know, one more joint. You know, whatever it is that even friends of friends or friends of family can pull in during these really weak, sad, vulnerable, devastational times, when you've had another kick down in the dirt. You know, maybe you've lost your license, and you've had to move back home and live with some more of these people that go past boundaries and just like to kick at you, and because all of a sudden you look weak to them because they don't understand the profound strength of love and these feelings that we are now feeling more and acting more towards, like truth, honesty, sincerity, living more peaceful, sober lives, not so aggressive lives, as we start using mindfulness and meditation, DBT skills, PTSD skills, better ways of coping, instead of going for just going along with that buddy or whatever and saying, oh, just one more time, when you can begin to pull yourself away from that, and they're not going to like it. I've had some of my brother's friends turn on me completely, that I had become friends with, after I would confront them or just get fed up with the fact that they were users, and I wanted more than that. They really don't want to understand or accept or even fathom the notion of talking about sobriety, whether it pertains to you or them in any godforsaken way. And a lot of times I've seen that these people will really run like hell away from me. Even some of my own children, some family that likes to keep it under the rug and likes to make excuses for these people because they like to help these people stay victims, and they don't mean to do it on purpose. Maybe these people truly love you, but have a really bad way of doing it because they have been so dysfunctional for so long, and they don't know any other way, and they don't want to learn. They're stuck in these states of denial, and it's really amazing, that like my daughter the other day, how she had to help take me somewhere, and it ended up a fight, just like it has for even a number of years now, as I began my own recovery in both situations, where the way that she's treating me anymore and yelling at me to be quiet, to shut up, not let me talk, not even visiting upon me and my new my apartment for the last 2 years since she's got out of prison for falling into methamphetamine. Just has a really hard time accepting the fact that she could possibly want to get sober one day as well, instead of falling back into her ways, where they can just shut you out, and it's crushing. It's a very lonely place to be, this stage of recovery, for either narcissistic or substance abuse, where it is the hardest phase. I talked about it in my last video. But fortunately, the stage is not going to last forever. You really, even though some days can be extremely hard to get through, where you can take these days of maybe being dismissed or ridiculed or thrown out, by these people, or rejected by these people, where, of course, our abandonment and shame issues, the core issues to our dependencies on whatever it is, are really going to shine up and take hold at first. And you really might have problems letting these people go, like past narcissistic husband or boyfriend, lovers, relationships or whatever, where it might take some time. I mean, it might even take years, depending on how painful and hard that the process is, whatever we're going through. To take these times when you do feel very abandoned and neglected, and come back to ourselves and remember that these people can really put guilt, shame, blame on us, and we can do it to ourselves. And we can really go into this depression when we're just hanging out, watching TV by ourselves all the time, trying to keep ourselves busy, even when we're trying to go on, like with our more successful jobs or schooling. They can still keep trying to sabotage us because they don't like it. They're very jealous and envious that they don't have that capacity or willingness yet, if they ever will, to change themselves and have higher success rates in their own lives. The best I can do for my children, or you really can do for anybody else, is to just be a role model. I know that they can take things away from you, like maybe transportation, money, when you get down on your luck or whatever, where you're really struggling. And that's why I really love the support of the mental health clinic I go to, because it supports me in my sobriety. Also gives me people to talk to when I join in these different types of groups. It helps you keep your sanity, to keep people that understand and that are going through what you're going through, like other sober people. Because it's just, I find in my own life, causes such a great strife and like just a constant fight with some of my family members and just old friends falling away, where it can be, you just feel like giving up. That's why I love to step back into my recovery group and learn new coping skills, and learn not to let my PTSD from past traumas take hold, where I've been hit, bruised, or thrown around, controlled, made to do things, physically beaten by the drugs themselves, or people, like, old abusive relationships, where as I'm taking this new PTSD class, if something triggers me, instead of going off on whoever, if we could all remember coping skills like taking a minute before speaking and blowing up on somebody, to stop, be still, become aware, and listen to how you're feeling, and instead use words like aggressively coming at these people, like, you are doing that, or you are that. Be just like, begin feeling words like, I feel that this is going on, and just become aware of and observe, and begin to talk like observing the situation and what you're needing problem solved. And if they're not willing to do that, if they're going to take an angry stance toward you, like that punishing stance, the best thing to do is to do more boundaries, really. I know I was in a situation with my daughter and one of her friends inside of a car, and it escalated to a point where there was almost going to be some physical abuse. It was just really aggressive. And we do not have to take that. We do not have to sit in a room or sit in a car if you don't have to, or be belittled or torn down or accused by any of these people for making the choices that you do, whether they are good or bad. We're all still learning out here, and take comfort and acknowledge that you are doing a really good job. You are doing the work. Be proud of yourself and be an example to these people that you are not going to hug out, tell them off, or whatever. Instead, we create boundaries by, I actually got out of the car and was in a town and actually went somewhere. And I went and I played a game of pool because I'm in pool league, so I just went over and practiced pool. Or go to a gas station or something, even where you have a place to sit down if it's nice out. Just find a safe place, anyways, where you might have other people that support or love you, that can help you during that. And I had to have somebody else come and get me. I was many miles from home, but I had to have somebody else come and get me so that fight did not escalate. This is creating boundaries. And don't be too hard on yourself, because you just have to continue to show these people that you are not going to respect these boundaries. And if they don't ever learn, then you might have to just continue living your life and accept the fact that some people, might choose different paths. So, I know I'm talking more about boundaries today, but it's such a huge one. And also just practicing self-love. Like when you go back home from a heartbreaking day like that, with another meeting like that of something or someone who tries to beat you down for stepping up for yourself. Really, this is how we are creating a new lifestyle for ourselves. And it's different. It feels better. The pain of breaking away can feel bad, but I just know that for me, it really helps to go home and practice self-love. Maybe keep a little box for yourself where you can think of, or when you're really stressed, go into this box and grab something like maybe a beautiful painted rock, self-soothing things that remind you of peace. Close your eyes and envision like your favorite place, like a beautiful beach, or golden meadow or something, where you can start building your endorphins back away from these really depressed, hurt feelings. And the more that we do practice these ways of these new coping strategies, taking a nice hot bath, listening to a YouTube video about narcissist abuse and relate. I know that helps me, comfort me. Brush your hair, put on one of your favorite outfits, take yourself out to eat, any ways of self-love and self-coping that could calm you back down. Meditation is probably one of the most powerful tools you will ever use to break back from these PTSD states, and align your chakras, and know and begin to learn that it is not your fault, and you don't have to fall into these guilt patterns or shame or